Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
Injuries at work happen all the time in Alabama, so do motor vehicle and slip and fall accidents. If you're hurt at work or injured in an accident, I want you to call my good friends at Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. That's Pond, Lehocky, Alabama's injury law firm. They got your back just like they've got mine. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond, Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
The representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Home Internet, Georgia Tech versus 17th ranked Ole Miss, Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on SEC Network.
Everyone is ready for a double dose of Monday Night Football. First on ESPN at 7.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go here on a Tuesday, live from the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, along with Keith Neighbors filling in for Wes here today. Steve Moulton back here with you. Keith, always good to see you, sir. You gotta sneak that microphone up a little closer. How are you, Keith?
My head is not big as Wes's.
I'm just so a little behind the scenes because people don't know, because we're not on camera. Usually the headset is like falling off, and he's always adjusting the headset.
Yeah, I had to tighten it.
Yeah, because it's usually falling off. Okay, a lot to get to. There's been a lot of reaction to what happened Saturday. Certainly, if you'd like to chime in, you can do so on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. But something that I gave everybody a homework assignment for yesterday, and I did a little homework myself. I reached out to Steve Shaw specifically about the Kent State-Arkansas game.
Yep.
Evidently, there is, according to Steve Shaw, discussion going on right now about this clock rule.
Are they going to change it in the middle of the season?
Hey,
guys, sorry, bad idea.
Now, I don't know about that.
Actually, I would like to think.
But
if somebody admit a mistake and change it, well,
1,000%.
Why, we'll wait till next year.
So I asked Steve Shaw to come on, and in his words, I'm swamped. Sorry, you didn't help. So, I mean, we'll see what happens in that regard. So there's also something else I wanted to play for you. And it was the night of the Madison County Lee High School football game. It happened to coincide with the very first Nick Saban show. Coach Saban, he said a couple of things that in retrospect, now that we know the answer to a couple of these questions, it sounded a little more cryptic today than it was live back on August the 31st. Here's Coach Saban, the very first Nick Saban show on the quarterback position.
When you have success, the quarterback gets a lot of credit, but also when things don't go well, the first guy they point at is the quarterback. So our guys got to understand that the way he performs is really, really important. And all three guys have made significant improvement. Would like to play more than one guy in a game. So I've told the guy that's going to start the game that we want you to play well enough so we have an opportunity to play all the guys at the position, because that's important for us. So we'll just have to go. But this is not, whoever starts the game, it's not their job in perpetuity, because they have to perform well. And because they don't have a lot of experience, I think we're all interested in seeing how they all perform.
So he wanted to see all three quarterbacks. It could be because earlier in the week, no, Keith, the reason I'm playing that, earlier in the week, he said something to the effect of, I want a guy to take over the job and be the guy.
Well, that was 2 weeks before that, yeah. But no one had done that. To that point, no one still has. I mean, this is the worst part, about not having one guy win the job. Much less, the old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any. Alabama has three.
So there's that. Later on in that show, a little Q&A part, Coach Saban was asked the following, and listen to this answer from Coach Saban.
My question is, how do you assess this team so far compared to the championship teams from the past?
Yeah, well, I don't like to compare teams because I don't think that's fair. But there's some things that championship teams have always had in common. The teams that had the best mindset. We've always had talented teams, and we've had several other teams that were talented enough to win a championship that didn't. And I think it goes back to talent is not enough. You got to have the right mindset to go with it. So people have to be totally committed and invested in things like discipline and work ethic and perseverance and overcoming adversity and pride in performance, and have that sort of burning desire to want to accomplish something, want to do something, and you got to have the right chemistry on your team where everybody buys into it, and the leadership on the team does not put up with anybody who's not bought into it and not doing the things that they're supposed to do. And I think that's what sets apart a championship team from some of the teams that were talented enough to win a championship that didn't. And that doesn't mean they weren't good people. It just means they weren't quite as hungry, committed, whatever you want to call it, to doing the things they needed to do to win. And there's always the issue of complacency that you got to deal with, and how satisfied do people get. So I will say this about this team. I don't know if this team is talented enough to win a championship, but I do think they've shown signs of having the right stuff. We got a lot of good guys on the team. We don't have a lot of complainers. We don't have a lot of negative people. A lot of people are positive. A lot of people buy into doing things the way we want them to do it, and to the standard that we want them to do it too. And they're willing to work, and they seem to have pretty good chemistry, and they like playing. They like practicing. They have fun. They enjoy their work. So that hasn't always been true. So, I don't know if we have enough talent to do it, but so far, and so far, because the grind of the season can challenge you and test you as to whether you can persevere that kind of commitment to things, I've been encouraged by the sort of competitive character this team has.
Again, that is from August the 31st, the very first Nick Saban show. Take anything from that?
Well, it's hard. Excuse me. It's hard to take anything, really. When I looked at Alabama, especially when I looked at them against Texas, which again we've only had 2 games to look at this team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we said yesterday. It's more up front. The quarterback didn't help himself very much. Once again, he made some beautiful throws in the game. But, one thing we don't understand is, especially when it comes to, unless you've been in the film room after a game, watching the game, watching the calls that maybe the quarterback missed. There are certain plays that are called that you can't run against certain defenses. And how many times did he miss those? Now, I've heard some conversations that after watching the film that, this week that we have a new number 1 quarterback. So, that after they went back and looked at the film, there were a lot of things that were missed, and there might have been a lot of pre-snap things that were missed. Once again, that's just people telling me stuff, but I'm not sure, where they're getting their info from. But usually it's hard to tell how someone's going to face adversity until they do. Now, listen, I watched those guys practice in one of the hottest scrimmages I've ever been a part of, except for maybe one that I participated in one time. And those guys were out there working their butt off, and, usually there's a lot of fights when people get tired. I can see a lot of that kind of stuff, but Coach Saban's around that team every day, and he's one that should know the talent. Once again, it looked like we didn't have as much talent up front on either side of the ball as Texas did. And if you look at, the more conversations I've been having with old teammates or just friends or all, and maybe, I heard Reese Davis say this driving in, maybe after Saban's been there 15 years, we won our first championship, 17 years, we won our first championship, 15, 14 years ago, maybe all the coaching vacancies, all the guys that have left, have finally started catching up with them.
It's been a lot.
Oh, yeah. You look at, there are 5 guys on Texas staff that used to be at Alabama's. And a couple of those I wish we had back. So
he faces more assistant coaches, former assistants, than he does non-assistant coaches.
Yeah, so, it's, when you lose, there's a lot of reasons why. And there's even more that are made up. But, they're going to have to figure out the quarterback situation. And the guys around him, whoever the quarterback is, are going to have to help him. Whoever the quarterback is, they're going to have to help him make plays. And you looked at the Texas game, I was pretty disappointed in, I don't know how many screens Alabama ran. 1, maybe 2. It didn't look like we were helping our quarterback very often. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would think, and I mentioned this some yesterday, that with Milroe's athletic ability, we'd be running RPOs left and right.
That's why I really thought you're going to see that being implemented big time.
But, maybe he doesn't like to run the RPO. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have that much insight. I don't talk with the coaches about it.
So I wanted to talk about this further. Coming up on the program today, we are going to talk with Chris Doering from the SEC Network. Coming up in hour number 2, but we're going to take an early timeout. Antonio Langham, he is going to join us next as we are live here from the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Our Falcons play here.
If you want to be really blunt, going into year 3, it feels like a real team around here in Flowery Branch.
Our Falcons are ready to battle all season long. Catch our next game Sunday as Arthur Smith and our Falcons welcome in the Green Bay Packers to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Catch each and every Falcons game here.
Listen to the Atlanta Falcons try to make it 2-0 against the Green Bay Packers. Noon Central Time, Week 2 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Do you want your next party to be something you'll remember? Then head on down to Flow Supremaire to book your next big bash. Birthday? Corporate meeting? Maybe just a family reunion so you can get your cousin Kyle back into the basketball court so you can beat him at basketball. I don't have no idea. Flow is fun for all ages looking for high-flying excitement, arcade fun, and tasty snacks to satisfy your hunger. Whether you have 10 friends or 25, Flow is jam-packed with something fun for everyone. Get jumping with Flow off South Parkway in Drake or head over to flowhuntsville.com to book your next party now.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University in front of the ABC store, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Mid-City District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, along with Keith Neighbors, filling in for Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you as we head out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and glad to have him aboard as Coach Colley, otherwise known as Antonio Langham, kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. What do you say, Coach Colley?
Steve, how you doing, my man?
We're good. How you doing?
I'm good. Barney Fife.
What up?
How you doing, Fife?
What's up, Collie?
I don't know if I'm Fife.
Smiley.
All right, so I'll make this as broad a question as I can. Give me your take on what you saw Saturday night in Tuscaloosa.
Steve, unfortunately, I can't answer any questions for you guys about this game Friday night. Fife, I am now coaching college football in my college with Sam Shade, so we played at 5 o'clock, so I did not get a chance to watch the game.
Wow, really?
Yeah, man. So
where are you coaching now?
Miles College.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Took the job in July, man. So, but I had an opportunity to get a breakdown of the game from Antonio London, who was not very happy about what he watched. And I told him I didn't get a chance to watch the game. And I was told that I didn't miss nothing at all.
You didn't.
But I did see some of it, though. One of the coaches after the game, he was watching it on his phone. So, yeah, I had an opportunity to catch some of it. But sounds to me as if Milroe and those guys, it sounds to me in defense we struggled a lot. It seems like we just didn't have an answer for Sark and his offense. But then, like I told people, hey, last year, if he doesn't lose his quarterback last year, the same. We probably get the same results that we got Saturday. We would probably receive them last year because it's difficult to play against a guy that you had on your staff for a long time who has seen your defensive scheme, been involved in your defensive scheme, has gone against your defensive scheme. He knows where your holes and your weaknesses are in your defense. And I'm sure Sark was able to capitalize on all those. All he needed this game was for his quarterback to stay upright and healthy. And then he figured he had a chance. I did hear our secondary did struggle, which I am not so shocked about it. Even though we had Malachi. Did he play? I know he was down with an ankle injury.
He did.
And the kid that we got from UAB.
Yeah, both of those guys end up playing.
But you talking about guys just coming off of not even 5 days ago, had just played in a game and came up injured, but then they was able to go. It's a different ball game. You're not 100%, and you need. Sometimes it ain't good to be out there when you're not 100%, even though you want to go and you need to go. You feel like you let the team down by not going. Sometimes it's just not good to go if you're not 100%. But people say, well, they was out there, they were 100%. That's not necessarily the case.
Usually after the first game, nobody's 100% anymore.
There you go. And nobody is. And if you're coming off ankle injury or a knee injury, you're really out there. I ain't gonna say you're a liability, but you better make sure that you are 100% go. And it wasn't like you played against some around the corner college that you can ease through it. You're talking about Texas Longhorns. We're coming into the SEC, who you're gonna have to face quite a bit. And you got an offensive coordinator with a master, with a mind like Sark. Here's the problem: we're gonna experience some trouble next week when we go against Ole Miss, because you think Lane is not gonna talk to Sark and ask him what he did.
Well, actually, he didn't even talk to him. He can just look at it. Well, and Antonio, we gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Something Miles did not do, by the way. Miles won the fourth quarter 14-0 in a come-from-behind victory over Alabama State.
Nick may need to hire us.
Wouldn't hurt. I know that.
Hey, look here.
Well, and the guys that got beat, Antonio.
Please tell us what.
We'll bring them dogs.
So I'll have you know, last Wednesday during the teleconference, I asked Coach Saban how many finishers and dogs he has, and I was thinking of you. And he said, we'll find out. And we sure enough found out. I'm not sure how many dogs are in the litter down there in Tuscaloosa.
Well, that'll make me real thin sound like around there right now.
Antonio, so I was going to tell you, the guys that got beat in the fourth quarter were not the guys that were hurt. They were all new guys.
Okay, who got beat?
Well, let's see. Arnold got beat.
Yeah.
And the guy, the transfer from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Was it Amos? He got beat bad. The guy was about 7 or 8 yards behind him on a deep one, and then Kool-Aid got beat on just a slant, which he looked like that was a busted coverage to me, because Kool-Aid looked like he wasn't even trying to take the guy on the slant, and nobody was there. But that was after,
Can I just say you like this? And when you watch football and you're involved in football nowadays, football is not the same anymore. I'm just going to be honest with you. NIL and transfer portal has killed college football. Has killed it. Because now you're watching football players that are playing for NIL money. I don't see it as a team sport anymore. It's for NIL money. How much money can I get? How much jewelry can I wear? How many nice cars? What nice car can I have to drive now? We didn't have to worry about that. I mean, we were just looking to get in the car with somebody and be able to get home. For a week.
Oh, yeah. So Wes brought that up yesterday, NIL, and he's been mentioning that more and more, and I've just kind of blown it off and just said, all right. But I'm starting to see, like, Eastern Kentucky be very competitive against Kentucky. Not Appalachian State, Austin Peay has a lead in Knoxville at Tennessee. And, I mean, all of a sudden I'm starting to think there is some legitimate validity to NIL and just kind of guys just, do I dare say, going through the motions.
Yeah, but everybody has to deal with it. It's just not like, well, Alabama's not good anymore because of NIL. I mean, everybody has NIL.
That's why I was mentioning Tennessee, Kentucky.
Like what Antonio was saying,
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of NIL deals at Texas going on.
Well, there have been unofficial NIL deals for a while.
For a long time.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest now. Texas has been told since the announcement made that they're coming in the SEC, has been told that they won't be able to survive in the SEC. We all heard it. Texas won't. I don't think Texas and Oklahoma will be real strong in the SEC. So what? They have a point to prove. So of course when they play in SEC schools, they got a whole different approach. They got something about why they play in SEC schools and why they need to beat them. Because y'all telling us we like the redheaded stepchild. We don't fit in. We won't survive. We won't be good in the SEC. We won't be able to hang in the SEC. So they got a different reason to play than for NIL money. They have a totally different reason to play. But guess what? Beating Alabama gets NIL money. So
that's a fact.
Beating schools in the SEC gonna get you NIL money because you heard it. I don't think y'all gonna be. Y'all don't think they'll survive in the SEC. They were good in what was the Big Ten, whatever they in, but they won't survive in the SEC. So we have a chip on our shoulder to play with. That's what Texas have. And then the moment Oklahoma get there, we'll have a chip. So it ain't going to be about NIL money. It's going to be about a point to prove. And sometimes you're starting to wonder if these schools have been in the SEC forever, if they have a point to prove anymore.
Is this why, at least from an NFL level in previous years, so many 3-stars succeed? It feels like there's more 3-stars that succeed in the NFL than 5-stars. I don't know if that's real or not.
Well, there's probably about 15 times more 3-stars than there are 5-stars too.
Yeah.
So I mean, percentage-wise, it's going to happen.
The dog mentality.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's only like maybe 12 5-stars or 13 or 14 5-stars a year.
Yeah.
There are about 400 3-stars, 500 3-stars.
Bigger pool. Yeah. Because the census says that these 5-star athletes should make it to the NFL because they come out of high school as 5-star. These 3-star players are fighting just to even get a scholarship to a D1 school now because everybody is in the portal trying to find guys. So these 3-star guys are left out here in the cold struggling trying to find a home somewhere. So, of course, they got a whole different mentality. They got a chip on their shoulder. Oh, so y'all think 5-star guy better than me? All right, let me show y'all something. All right, now look at your 5-star guy and look at this 3-star guy. Your 5-star guy barely can't make the football team in the pros. Here I am, a 3-star guy. I'm starting. Hey, I'm getting ready to get a contract extension. Look at your 5-star guy. They have a chip on their shoulder. And when we fix this transfer portal and this NIL mess and put these guys back in a situation where they got to have a chip on their shoulder, college football is going to become exciting again. I don't think the excitement is there like when we played fight because we had a chip on our one. We wanted to win for our university. 2, we wanted the national championship. And 3, everybody was fighting for a shot at the NFL. And we knew we had to put in work on that football field to even get a shot at the NFL. These cats now, they making NFL money now. Why would I be so stressed to go out there and just ball out of control when I'm getting paid like I'm in the NFL already and I hadn't put on a suit in the NFL?
Is there a solution? Is there something please share with the class, if you'd like, of what is a viable solution.
We don't have one now. We've lost complete control. And we're trying. And NCAA is trying to figure out how to reel it back in. But you didn't let that they didn't let that big blue marlin catch a hold to that hook, and he done ran in another 500 yards. Now you got to fight a long way to bring him back in. It's gone too far now. To reel it back in is going to take an awful lot, and I just don't see. I think the NCAA will fold, and all universities will.
So you're saying cut the line and start a new hook? Is that what I'm hearing?
You're gonna have to cut the line and start a new hook if you want to get it. If you want to get it back under control, because right now it's running too. It ran too far for them. I feel like for them to get it back under control. I think they could try to dress it up a little bit and try to tweak some here and there and try to make it sound good. But I think it's gotten too far out of control now. Because now you can't sell infrastructure to kids. I can't have the best looking facilities in college football and invite kids in my school and say, this is all yours if you sign here. Because they don't care nothing about infrastructure no more. All they want to know is, NIL, what can you give me? and the fact of the matter is, my question would be, what have you done for me lately? You ain't even made it here yet to be asking for no money.
Hey, it might not just be cutting the line, though. I mean, we might need to get a bigger boat. I was trying to use that line earlier, but y'all wouldn't let me.
But at the same time, though, as we're talking to Antonio Langham right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, you see what's going on at Colorado. And I know that is the extreme other case of a team that won one game last year, and it's the toast of the town. And transfer portal, if the transfer portal didn't exist, Colorado wouldn't be in the situation they are in right now, which is the toast of the town.
Okay, Colorado is the toast of the town right now because everybody on that team has a chip on their shoulder. They all these coaches were saying Prime wouldn't be able to survive in Colorado against the competition he'll be playing. He just can't go in the portal just like that and just grab all these guys and think he's just gonna have a successful program. It doesn't go that way. You had all these coaches saying that, and guess what? The one thing that these kids have playing with right now is a chip on their shoulder because everybody was saying Prime and his staff and these players could not fit in this conference and what they're going to be playing against. It goes back to, once again, the chip on the shoulder. It's different. But I guarantee you this, if Prime stays in Colorado long enough and the NIL money is spread around and not just going to Shador and Shiloh, and everybody starts getting their fair share of the NIL money, Colorado he gonna start having problems in Colorado. All those speeches he give, I love Prime. I love all the speeches he give. But them little hype videos and them little YouTube videos they doing won't work no more when them kids ain't getting their NIL money. Because that luster to come and play for Prime gonna start to die. Because they gonna come with their hands out. Nah, I don't care nothing about all these sayings you got on the wall and all these little celebrities you get running through here. I don't care nothing about that. I want mine. Where's mine? Put mine in my hand. I want you doing shallow love.
Exactly right.
Well, I will tell you, Antonio, I did get some emails last year from Jackson State wanting me to take a closer look at Shador for Heisman Trophy caliber type of voting. And I did take a look at him. He was very impressive. But honestly, I was judging him off of what he was playing against as well. He is clearly a top-level athlete, and he deserves to be in the conversation right now through a couple of games.
I wouldn't. I am not against that at all. I am not against him being in the conversation for Heisman right now. But at the same time, he went against. At the same time, let's be honest now. And that conference right there, they don't play defense. It's like it's like the Bulls against the Knicks. If Jordan got the ball in his hand on the last possession, whoever scores on the last possession gonna win the game because all of them gonna be a shootout for the most part.
Yeah.
You're not talking about the old Knicks.
No, he's not talking about the old Knicks. Yeah.
They take
your head off. Yeah.
But Jordan going against today's Knicks.
He's not talking about Oakley. He's not talking about the Oakley Knicks.
Yeah, I ain't talking about them Knicks because, see, they be fighting by now. They just throwing Jordan out the air, stand him on the court.
Let me put you in a completely unfair position. Let me put you in Coach Saban's shoes right now and having to deal with what he's dealing with, and that is, at least from a fan's perspective, some questions on affecting the quarterback defensively, some questions on the offensive line at left tackle and center, and certainly the quarterback position as well.
Nick has got to go back. And I'm not saying that he isn't the same old Nick, but I'm pretty sure the grandbabies and stuff has softened him up a little bit. He's got to go back to the old Nick Saban that I know, and the one that's going to say the H with it. I'm going to find the best player to put on this field that's going to give me what I need, going to give me the answers that I'm looking for. That means if I had to put some freshmen in some of you senior spots, forget this seniority mess or whatever, I need some dogs. And if that means I got to find them on the sideline, freshmen and stuff, and play them to get the job done, then that's what he needs to do. And ain't no other way around it, because if he don't, then not only is they to talk about the dynasty is dying, all of a sudden now the talk is going to be, I think Nick's gotten too old to do it, to continue to do it. Maybe it's time for Bama to move on from Nick. All this, it's not that. What's happening is, you look at Alabama and we're making so many mistakes, it almost seems like we're offensively and defense, especially, we're undisciplined. And you have never seen any of Nick Saban's teams make mistakes and make those many missed assignments and mental errors. That's called being undisciplined.
I mean,
Right's right.
So the last 2 years, the last year and a half, Antonio, I have always gone back to, do we need to go back to this as coaching? Because last year it was OCDC. It was the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. That was the problem. I don't know how many times I heard that. And then I would always say, but ultimately there's one guy in charge.
Well, and Antonio, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, it's been 15 years ago since Alabama won, or Nick Saban won his first national championship. And I think the coaching changes, I mean, how many coaches he's had? Maybe 60. I mean, you look at...
I'll take the over on that, by the way.
Yeah, you look at Texas staff, they had 5 of his former coaches on the staff. And one of them was one of my favorite ones he had was Bo Davis. So...
got in trouble,
had to go to the NFL. And then, now he's clear to be back in college, has been the last 3 or 4 years. And you talk about developing NFL talent, that man was really good at doing it.
Yeah.
Not only he's good at developing talent, he's good at spotting talent when he sees it.
Here's my thing about that. All last year we had problems. All we heard was Pete Golding got to go. Pete Golding's awful. This offensive coordinator is awful. And it was always, as you said, Steve, it was always the OC and the DC that everybody had problems with. But Fife, you can say that. You can say, I agree with you on that lane, or I disagree, and we can have a discussion about it again on another call. We can do this again another day and have the same discussion. I am going to say this. We, as coaches, all we do is game plan, watch film, break down film, and we try to put our kids in the best possible position to make plays and win a football game. But once they blow that whistle and they kick us off the field and put us on the sideline, all we can do is call stuff in there and allow 11 men, to each one of them, to do their specific job. Now, if all these people that's mad and complaining about Coach Saban and the OC and the DC was able to sit in these meetings, I guarantee you 85% of the mistakes that are made in these games, offenses, defense, and special team, is the players and not the coaches. But see, we are in a world now where y'all don't need, there's too much pressure y'all putting on those young men. How in the hell is that so? Excuse my language. They get paid a lot of money now. Y'all in the NFL, go to the NFL and do your job wrong. Watch what they're going to tell you. I don't need you no more. Thank you so much. Bye. I will find somebody else to do this job. You are getting paid like NFL money. So if you're out there making mistakes, that means that you are not dedicated to your craft, that you out there making mental errors and missing assignments. If we could sit in the film rooms and watch, I guarantee you 85% of that mess is one of them players. It don't take but one player to be out of position for a big play to happen. It don't take 3 or 4 of them to be out of position. One, to not be in his gap. One, to not fit where he's supposed to be. One, to not run the technique right in coverage and he get beat deep. It doesn't take but one mistake for it to turn into a big play. But is that the coach's problem? Not always. If I can teach you everything I know, but once I put you in them lines, most of them, when the heat turns up, I got a kid on I coach right now. I call him Playground Cam. Because I promise you, the moment something goes wrong, he goes away from all technique that we've taught, and he goes straight back to the playground. Whatever made sense to him in the playground, that's what he gonna do.
Wow. I mean, so if I'm hearing you right, and I think I am, we need more. We need more dogs.
Hey, listen to me. I will take a mediocre kid that's a 2-3 star kid that's motor gonna run, and he gonna give me everything, every single play, and make mistakes going full speed, than to give me a 5-star. And he could care less about the mistakes he made because he's 5-star and think I'm still going to go to the league because I was recruited as a 5-star guy. I don't care nothing for stars. You can take them stars and flush them down the toilet for all I care. Give me a football player. Give me a dog like they used to go when coaches used to go sit in the stands and watch these cats and not call on the recruiting service. Send me your top guys. What you think of top guys? Everybody look good on when they see your huddle and all that stuff because all they done put on there is all the good plays they made. You ain't seen one bad play.
So, Antonio, you can tell me this because I don't know. It's been a long time since I was recruited, but at least when I was recruited, you'd send them the highlight tape, and they'd ask you to send me your best game film, the whole game. The game that you thought you played the best. And if you ever watched it with them, they just destroy you on all the mistakes you made. But, give me your best game film, and they're going. If you're really getting into a player, you're looking at his effort on every play, and you're looking, how many plays you make. I mean, if you send them the best film, like me, I'd make like 18 tackles. But they're going to look at the bad plays I made and my bad mistakes. And if effort was ever a question in there, they weren't going to recruit you.
There it is.
If effort was a problem, you were not going to get recruited. You can teach somebody how to fix their mistakes. You cannot teach effort.
You cannot. You cannot teach effort.
And that's usually that. Yeah. I was trying to say that effort is something that everybody can always give their best effort. Not a lot of people want to give it. I mean, as a father teaching my kids how to play football, that's the thing that I try to explain to them that's what is always expected, and sometimes I get mad at them for And I think that this new generation, this YouTube generation, that if you make a mistake and someone catches it on film and it embarrasses you, it stays there forever now. And I think that kids play football different because of it.
Hey, I totally agree, man. Because here's the thing. I just feel like that that's missing right now. And I had this quote I showed my kids, my young man in my room one day. I told him, it says, mental toughness requires motivation. the more motivated you are, the more pain, fatigue, and pressure you can tolerate. I'm not going to say all, but I think majority of these kids are not mentally tough anymore.
I agree with you 100%.
Because the moment the pain, the fatigue, and the pressure builds, they fold.
I knew the breakdown would be fantastic, even if you didn't watch the game completely. By the way, Miles is at Arkansas Pine Bluff this weekend, 5 o'clock kick time. Then they play host to Clark Atlanta on September the 23rd. That's a 4 o'clock kick. I'm glad you're coaching. I'm excited that you're coaching.
Hey, we need some skybox tickets.
You know what I do? You want even better than that. It's so easy to get sideline passes that mile.
Hey, you don't want old Fife on the sidelines. I might get fired up.
Y'all said you and Fife would rather be on the sideline than in the box.
Hey.
It's not the luxury box you used to, Fife.
Hey, give me 2 series, I'll start calling out plays. You want me on the headsets.
Coach Colley, you're the best. Thank you so much, and I didn't mean to disrupt you. I didn't realize you were coaching, so I'll still reach out periodically, but now that I know you're grinding week in and week out, I want you to focus on that, sincerely.
Steve, listen, you can still call me and come on at this time in the afternoon, because trust me, Coach Colley has had to make a lot of major life adjustment. Coach Colley is on the practice field every morning, Monday through Thursday, at 5 a.m. to 7:15, 7:30. This is a life-changing moment for me. So by the time 5:15 in the afternoon hits, Coach Colley is almost on his way home. So you are fine at this time of the day. I need something a break from that football, because I'm in it I wake up at 3:30. I'm there by 4:40, 4:30. I'm on the field at 5, and I'm off at 7:15, 7:30. I'm in the meeting room at 9. I'm in the meeting room at 11, lunch, then I'm in the meeting room again at
1:30. They are missing you at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I swear they are. They send me text messages. Hey, Buffalo Wild Wings, walk on. They miss me so much, they send me text messages. Man, why you had to get
I bet. You're the best, Coach Colley. You're the best.
All right, y'all too, man. I enjoyed it, man. Y'all take care.
That is Antonio Langham. Let's go ahead and take our final time out. We're live here from in hour number 1. We've still got plenty to get to, including Chris Doring at the top of the hour.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Gunner's Landing is one of the Tennessee Valley's finest golf experiences. Just 35 minutes from downtown Huntsville, Gunner's Landing's 18-hole championship Jewel is open to the public 7 days a week. Located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, Gunner's Landing offers you a golf experience like no other. With beautiful Lake Gunnersville views throughout the round, Gunner's Landing is golf the way nature intended. Gunner's Landing's Club Repair Shop offers a full range of services, including re-gripping and adjusting the lofts and lies of your clubs, even putters. Since the work is done in-house, your clubs will be returned to you in a timely manner. Unmatched in the North Alabama area, it is Gunner's Landing. Schedule your tee time today at gunnerslanding.com. That's gunnerslanding.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Alumni Hall. Alumni Hall is the ultimate shopping experience for Alabama and Auburn fans. Located right here in Huntsville, come shop the best selection of officially licensed apparel, hats, Yeti, accessories, and gifts. Whether you're heading to the spring game or shopping graduation gifts or just love to show your school pride daily, come see us at Alumni Hall. University students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in store, and you can earn cash back with our Hall Pass rewards. Alumni Hall, located in Bridge Street Shopping Center, or shop anytime at alumnihall.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny to mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be in the forecast, primarily once we get beyond the lunch hour. Otherwise, temperatures climbing into the upper 80s and lower 90s, dropping into the mid-60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky on Wednesday. An isolated shower can't be ruled out. Otherwise, it is going to be much cooler on the backside of a cold front. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, dropping into the mid and upper 50s as we head into the earliest hours of Thursday morning. Going to be a beautiful morning commute on Thursday. A partly sunny sky on Thursday afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the low and mid 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got it locked on your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Nick Saban Show. This is Eli Gold, and this is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Back here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, along with Keith Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. Good stuff there from Coach Colley. By the way, Miles, just to let you know, is 2-0 on the year with wins over Lane College and at Alabama State. They came from behind, as I mentioned. They outscored the Hornets 14-0 in the fourth quarter. And told you a little bit, the rest of the schedule is at Central State. They host Benedict, a team that is, this is D2 stuff, but then at Morehouse, it's not Morehouse. If you're from Atlanta, you know it's called Morehouse. And then you play host to Allen at Albany State. It's not Albany State. It's Albany State. I'm dropping knowledge here. And playing host to Tuskegee. Jen's here with us. How are you, Jen?
Better now. I feel like I'm getting an education just listening to you talk.
Albany?
Right?
You like Albany State?
All these little accents going on. I can hardly keep them all straight.
The very first game I did, high school-wise, I was 21 years old, and...
You've been doing radio that long?
Yeah. Here
Wow.
comes
He's only 22.
Yeah, really.
Well, that's why you're so good.
It was Warner Robins at Houston County. So I go through the first quarter, and Warner Robins goes up, and PA guy leans over and says, "It's not Houston County." I said, "What do you mean it's not Houston County? It's spelled like Houston, so it's Houston. It's Houston. It's Houston County."
Oops.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake.
Yeah. From that point on,
It's like Jordan and Jordan.
Yeah, so there's that too. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the Furniture Factory, please.
Well, speaking of football and all that good stuff, this is the place to be during all the games, right?
Yes.
Don't you love that?
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting up with our fall buffet on Saturdays when we have games, like really fun games.
There's plenty this weekend too.
Yes. And I'm going to do like a new menu. So I'm changing it up this year. I'm tired of fingers and wings and all that. So I'm changing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun place to be to watch football. So everybody needs to come here and watch football. And then when they're tired of that, they can then sing and dance. Because you know the bands are going to be great after the games.
So you've got Tennessee and Florida this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of Vol fans in this area.
I mean, right?
And then also there's an early kick between Mississippi State and LSU.
Yes,
that is one game that I have circled that I'm really interested in.
Are you now, Dusty?
Yes,
I think
I am.
LSU's going to win. You don't think so?
Why do you think that? I don't have a clue on that one.
Really? Should we place a bet?
Let's place a bet.
Should we place a bet?
Yeah, so you're gonna pick Mississippi State, I would imagine, right?
Well, I am a loyal fan, but I mean, they only won the last couple games, like the hair of their chinny chins.
So you're picking LSU?
Well, that isn't very loyal, is it? I guess I should pick Mississippi State as a loyal
Well, what's the
fan.
line?
I'm looking that up.
So, I mean, give her some
I mean, I don't
breathing
know.
room.
I'm just saying.
It is LSU 9.5. That's a lot of points.
We're up at State.
It opened at 7. It's now 9.5.
At State.
At State. If you give me 9.5 points, I'm taking Mississippi State all day long.
Really?
Yeah. If you give me 9.5, yeah.
Oh my. Well, I was gonna say LSU was gonna beat us.
So that's a bet.
That's my bet.
So.
That's my bet. Tequila.
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 That's it.
All right.
That's a West bet.
Well, it's also a gin bet.
Oh yeah, it kind of is. Are you good on it? We gonna shake on it?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
we shake on it. All right.
So I see 80s night is coming next Friday.
Well, and we start with Thursday at Big Daddy Kingfish. I've already gotten lots of people that, they have like a following. They're such a fun, loyal band that everyone loves them. And we serve a great barbecue with Fusion Barbecue. So Thursday ought to be good. Yes, Friday is Stolen Faces. We have Departure on Saturday after the games.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, isn't that a cool poster?
It
the
is.
80s night.
Yeah.
So that'll be super, super fun.
That
so
is next Friday, not
correct.
this Friday.
That is
the
correct.
22nd.
Yes, but this Friday we have Departure, and that'll be super fun. 80s. Who doesn't love the 80s? And it's that time of year. Now you can actually dance without sweating. It might be a little cooler.
Tonight's supposed to be a cold front, and I think it's supposed to get in like the low 60s tonight.
Did you actually say the word cold?
Yes, I did.
I mean, so we can wear our jeans and like not be sweating.
I'm wearing jeans right now.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well,
are you sweating?
No, because I brought my fan. That's $20 I've ever spent in my life. Is this box fan that I take everywhere?
yeah, you're not like one of these cool guys. Have you noticed these things they wear around their neck now?
Well,
Like
that's Tony in the kitchen.
I mean, everybody wears them. It's
Yeah.
like the new necklace for these fans.
Yeah,
it really is not very sexy.
They look like
it's really not.
They look like
I'll be sure and let Tony know that.
they look like headphones that someone's just wearing around their neck.
Yeah,
it kind of does.
Yeah.
I guess it does. And I mean, if that keeps you
My
from...
wife bought some after we saw people wearing them at Alabama's first scrimmage.
Okay.
I was like,
that makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. They were everywhere, all over the
Yeah.
game. People had them on all over. They must really do the
Gosh,
trick.
if I worked outside, man, I'd be abusing that.
Yeah, well...
I was like, why does everybody have their headphones around their neck?
Well, whoever invented that is making a mint, because I feel like every Tom, Dick,
Mm-hmm.
and Harry's wearing them. It's like the cool thing. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that how did we get talking about that? Oh, because now it's nice and cool to be on the patio, right?
That's right.
Okay, that being said, holiday parties.
Yes.
We've got Rocket Republic, and I want to just let people know that, yes, they can book their holiday parties. I've got openings. It's a great place to have your holiday event. So it's perfect, and I'd be happy to book it. If y'all don't have a place, I've got the spot. I'll take care of you from head to toe. We've got great food, great drinks, and I'll make it happen. So
anniversaries,
that's cool. Yes.
Holidays, birthday parties, surprise birthday parties.
We do a lot of those. I've got that at Haven this weekend. So we've got lots of fun things going on everywhere. But Rocket, yes, is the place for those that's a little newer. Not everyone knows about it and knows that it's available as an event space.
And by the way, if you've not seen it recently, it's been redone.
It has.
And it looks really good.
Changing it up, making it
really good.
An event space for the holidays. So it'll be your place to be.
How do they get in contact with
They can call me, 256-426-1989. They can come see me here at the factory. It's happy hour. I'm going to win that bet. Tequila. And FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
I've got 9.5 points.
Oh, do you?
I've got 9.5 points.
I mean, I hope you're wrong, because more cowbell.
You hope I'm wrong.
Well,
That means...
I mean, there's the loyal side of me to more cowbell.
But wouldn't you hope I'm right? Wouldn't you hope I'm right? Because that means Mississippi State...
She's not paying for that shot.
Oh, man.
It's a bet.
Cheers.
It's a bet.
Cheers.
Thank you, Jen. We'll talk to Chris Doring from the SEC Network right after this Sports Center update.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca. Earlier today, an MRI confirmed it's a torn Achilles for Jets QB Aaron Rodgers out for the season. Before it got started, it'll be Zach Wilson as the team starter moving forward. Head coach Robert Saleh confident in his young QB.
We are going to look through some things, but I do want to make it very clear, Zach's our quarterback. We got a lot of faith in Zach. We're really excited about his opportunity, but we're rolling with Zach and excited for this, excited for him, and like I said, this opportunity that he's going to get.
Elsewhere, Steelers will be without a couple key pieces on Monday night against the Browns. All-pro defensive tackle Cam Hayward will undergo groin surgery, could miss up to 8 weeks, while wide receiver Deontay Johnson reportedly also likely to miss the game with a hamstring injury. The Bengals released tackle Lyle Collins from the PUP list, now a free agent. Cincinnati signed Orlando Brown to anchor the tackle spot this offseason. NBA Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr.'s alleged attack on his girlfriend left the woman with a fractured neck vertebra and a cut above her eye. NBA currently conducting its own investigation. Rockets can't discipline Porter until that concludes. Baseball, Rays play center fielder Jose Siri on the 10-day injured list with a fractured right hand. Siri's second on the Rays with 25 homers this season, was hit by a pitch last night. The Mets hiring David Stearns as president of baseball operations.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, Week 1 is in the books. I'll tell you which teams landed in my top 5 heading into Week 2. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Always fun to talk with our next guest, and it's always how I end my Saturdays. And it's always an information buffet with our next guest. Keith Neighbors filling in for Wes Neighbors. My name's Steve Moulton. As we head out to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline from the SEC Network, it is Chris Doering. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Good to catch up with you, and appreciate the kind words, man. It's always fun to hear about SEC fans that end their day with us, and appreciate them and their loyalty to what we do, man.
One sidebar subject that I did want to talk about, at least out of the gate, there is a little part of me that misses Coach Chizik, but it is also fun to see him implement that defense, and boy, I bet he was sweating bullets against that school in Boone over the weekend.
Yeah, crazy. I don't know, man. Something about App State, but they've played North Carolina tough the last 2 years, but really proud of Chiz, a great friend of mine. I miss him desperately on the set, but he's doing something he loves doing and doing a great job at it, as we saw against South Carolina in week 1.
No doubt about that. Well, I don't have to tell you the topic du jour here in the state of Alabama. It's the Auburn game. I'm kidding. So what did you see in the Alabama-Texas game, Chris?
I saw Texas just beat Alabama at every single position, and that includes coaching as well. I thought that Steve Sarkisian did a great job with his plan. His play calling was magnificent. They averaged gaining 7.9 yards on first down. That kept Alabama off balance. That kept the playbook open to any of the options that Sark wanted to go with, and he certainly felt like he had a bead on what Coach Saban and Coach Steele's defenses were going to do even before they knew. And it's not often that you can say that, but a lot of explosive plays. Quinn Ewers executed at a really high level. The previous week, I think he went 0 for 7 on throws, 15 yards or more down the field, and this one he hit 5 of 8, a couple touchdowns. The offensive line handled both sides, really, to be honest with you. Texas owned the lines of scrimmage in every single matchup. Texas's wide receivers were better than the secondary was of Alabama. So I was surprised to see that. I think particularly on the line of scrimmage, I thought that Alabama had the advantage, especially after I watched some of what Texas had done the previous week against Rice. But they played a great game, and I think they're showing that they are ready to come into the SEC next year for sure.
A lot of fingers are pointing at the quarterback position. How many you think should be pointed at the quarterback position, Chris?
Only a couple. I thought Jalen played pretty well in a lot of cases. I mean, if not for his athleticism, the sack total probably would have looked a lot like what Carolina racked up against South Carolina in week 1. Jalen Milroe made a lot of guys miss. He kept a lot of plays alive. He made 2 bad throws where he didn't see defenders. Should have seen those guys. But, all in all, I thought he did some good things, including trying to bring them back into the ballgame a couple of times. I do think Tommy Rees should utilize his legs a little bit more. I think the offensive line clearly can help. It can use the help of a quarterback that can run, and trying to limit him to a pocket passer is kind of similar to what Florida did at times last year with Anthony Richardson. I don't think it's his highest and best use. I think he's capable of it, but I think he really puts the fear into defenses with his legs and what he can do when he breaks contain.
With all that being said and the turnovers and everything, Bama still had the lead going into the fourth quarter, and it is strange to see a Bama team not win the fourth quarter, and this is not an isolated incident.
Yeah, I think, we're seeing a lot of things that we're not used to seeing with Alabama, and one of the biggest, Coach Saban, losing at home for the first time by double digits. And, the fact of the matter is, in the last 7 Power 5 games they played, they're only 4-3. So, they've shown that they are mortal, which I think, as I mentioned on our show the other day, is kind of hard to swallow for those of us that have lived through this great run that Alabama has been on. And it's just a lot of factors, including the NIL stuff, the transfer portal, that have kind of even the playing field to some degree. So maybe none of which is as big as Kirby Smart and what he's done in Athens, taking the blueprint of success from Coach Saban and implementing it there, the way they go about recruiting and evaluating, the way they develop. A lot of that talent that Georgia has probably would have at one point in time ended up in Tuscaloosa. And you're seeing, some of that being siphoned off because of what Kirby Smart has basically been able to do with Coach Saban's plan originally.
Talking to Chris Doring right now in the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and as a whole, at least SEC football, this is a broad stroke here, but it seems like there is a lot of struggle of getting to the finish line, be it Kentucky against Eastern Kentucky. And is the best non-conference win right now Ole Miss at Tulane or Auburn at Cal?
Yeah, I think it's Ole Miss at Tulane, even though Tulane's a Group of 5 school. They're a ranked school. They're one that Lane Kiffin called an SEC school. For a lot of intents and purposes, they are. But I'll disagree with you a little bit. It's not getting to the finish line for me that's as frustrating as it is getting off the starting blocks. I mean, I don't understand the slow starts that we've seen. Georgia 2 weeks in a row. This week we experienced, Kentucky slopping it around early on. It seemed like, 3/4 of the league couldn't get going. And, I think that's part of one of the many questions I have about where we are as a league right now. It's an unusual position. This is my 9th year with the SEC Network, and I don't think I've ever had to sit up there on set and try to apologize or make sense of anything like what we're experiencing right now through 2 weeks.
Hey, Chris, this is Keith, Wes's brother. We just got off the phone with one of my old teammates, Antonio Langham, and he thinks it's the NIL money that these big colleges are giving to these guys that maybe they don't want to show up until they have to.
Yeah, it's definitely a different generation, and I think old people forever have been complaining about the generation younger than them, and I guess I'm one of the old guys now, but I can't imagine some of the decisions that these kids are faced with and what that could do to your focus level, the distractions of social media and everything else that goes on. But, NIL money should be the sizzle and not the actual main entree. But, I think a lot of times people, when they get a little money in their pocket, can also get a little complacent too, and also think that maybe the rules don't apply to them the same way. I've heard a number of Alabama players, former players, talk about, the coaching they received, and that, these current players need to be a little more receptive to that style of coaching too. Nick Saban has not forgotten how to coach. I mean, he's the greatest of all time, continues to be the greatest of all time, but the landscape changes, and the run that we had at Florida is nothing like what Coach Saban has created in Tuscaloosa, but we won a bunch of SEC championships there in that 12-year period when Coach Spurrier was coaching there. And, eventually things change. People caught up kind of to what Coach's offense was doing at some points, and, other teams got good, and it's just the cyclical nature of the SEC as a whole. So, I think it's not that they're completely done for, but I don't think you'll see them, and I honestly don't think you'll see Georgia have anywhere near the sort of dominance that Alabama had for that period of time since Coach Saban got things going in his second season.
It is definitely a difficult thing to accomplish in what Coach Saban has done in Tuscaloosa. There's no doubt about that. There's two concerning things for me right now. I'm going to start with Texas A&M, Chris, and the lack of tackling. I mean, wow. I was floored about what I saw down in South Florida over the weekend. How about you?
Yeah, one of the most embarrassing things I've seen, and I don't think these kids realize it, but what you put on tape is who you are as a football player, and the secondary should be completely embarrassed about their effort, not only with the tackling, but the coverage and not playing your technique, panicking when the ball's in the air, certainly, rallying to the football, getting the guy to the ground. I mean, the yards after contact in the secondary after catch was just ridiculous. But watching safeties come over and try to block guys to the ground without wrapping up, it was embarrassing. But that's just part of the problem. They got no pass rush. We've heard all off season about how the defensive line was going to be better, but they impacted the game zero. Tyler Van Dyke was a stud. Let's credit them too. I thought Shannon Dawson had a great plan as the offensive coordinator. Tyler Van Dyke executed it really, really well. They got some playmakers there. And, I live here in the state of Florida, watching what Mike Norvell has done in Tallahassee, and now Mario Cristobal in the same number of years that Billy Napier has been here. It puts a lot of pressure on the Gators, and that's for sure. So I don't want to take anything away from Miami. They did a great job and impressed with what they did to remake their roster and their lines of scrimmage. But some really embarrassing things that I thought that Texas A&M had gotten past, but evidently still in the midst of.
So the other place I want to go is Fayetteville, Arkansas. I reached out to Steve Shaw, tried to get him on because of what Kent State implemented in that game of shrinking the clock. And kudos to Kent State for doing that. But I am fearful that this is going to be copied big time if nothing is done this year, Chris.
What were the details exactly, man? The first 2 weeks of the season are very difficult on us in studio. We got all these games going on with only 1-2 volumes up and couldn't necessarily hear exactly. But what were the details?
So the game lasted 2 hours and 45 minutes. And again, you have to keep the ball, and kudos to Kent State for doing that. They held the ball almost 28 minutes, but they were only 4 of 12. But they were killing the clock in the first quarter. That they were going out of their way of breaking the huddle late. There was one time where they went up to the line of scrimmage and went back into the huddle and went back to the line of scrimmage. It felt very obvious that they were shrinking the game, basically implementing a Dean Smith four corners offense.
I mean, nothing against the rules, though, right? I mean, they were held to the play clock, right?
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing, I'll say, from a consumer standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if that will be something they address in terms of shortening the play clock. I guess that would be the only solution. I am not a fan of the new rule. Obviously, my alma mater playing from behind against Utah in week 1 could use a little more time. Not that it would have helped necessarily, but I always liked the college rules, getting the first down, stopping the clock while the chains are set, and get you a chance to get to the line and get set. Man, I just I don't know what was wrong with the product before, and I don't know why we're messing with stuff that is working pretty well.
Well, so just to let you know, I did reach out to Steve Shaw. Couldn't come on today. He said they're looking at it, and they're looking at that game in particular to see if a tweak is needed. So I don't know if there is something that's going to come out or not, but at least that's what Steve told me today, just to let you know. Talking to Chris Doering right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Moving forward, I am really intrigued with LSU at Mississippi State, and the line is 9.5. Am I crazy to think that this is going to be a very competitive game?
I mean, I think it should be. I think the benefit for LSU, and it's hard to describe it this way, but I think if LSU would have beaten Florida State, they wouldn't have had to take a tough look as they probably had to at where they were with things. And certainly one of the biggest things I think that the light had been shined on was the lack of physicality, the way that Florida State was able to keep running the same play over and over again in the second half and keep picking up chunk yardage on the ground. This is a team that Mississippi State has completely made over who they are, and I think they've made over their persona to match that of their coach. I've really grown fond of Zach Arnett. I think everybody kind of liked the post-game interview the other night, but I think the change in terms of their offensive philosophy fits more historically with what the Mississippi State teams have looked like. The running ability, they definitely play more physically on the line of scrimmage too. So, I think this is going to be something that had LSU not lost to Florida State, that may get exposed in what, some people call kind of a trap game. Going to Starkville is always very difficult and unique. But I think because they lost that game, that's maybe created a greater sense of urgency. Not much that we could take from the Grambling game, but I do believe that this will be something that certainly will have LSU's full attention because of what happened in the game against FSU.
There was a lot of turning points in Tennessee season last year. I think the first one happened against your alma mater in Florida. And after last week, I really don't know what to think of Joe Moulton and the issues offensively for Tennessee, that this has all of a sudden got a little bit more intrigued to me heading into this weekend.
Well, it definitely does. I mean, there's a lot more accomplished quarterbacks that have come to Florida in the last 20 years and not one in the swamp. So, it's going to be a test for Tennessee as a whole. It'll be a test. I think it's the most hostile road venue that Joe Moulton will have started at in his career. And, I turned the tape on. There's a lot of things going on that are preventing the explosive passing plays that we got used to last year and the year before with Hendon Hooker at the quarterback from happening this year. Some of them are inaccuracies, but there's also receivers that are dropping balls where they're wide open. They're offensive linemen busting protections and just, poor technique utilization. So, football is the greatest team sport there is, and if all 11 players aren't doing their jobs individually, the unit as a whole collectively is not able to perform very well. And I think that's what I'm seeing when I turn the tape on, particularly against Austin Peay, was that they just didn't have everybody doing their job on many plays, and too many guys taking turns getting negatives, minuses on their plays that they need to kind of clean up before they get to Gainesville on Saturday.
Finally, last question for you, Chris. Really appreciate the time, sir. I wanted to get your early returns on 2 games into the Hugh Freeze era down at Auburn.
Yeah, I'm impressed so far with what they've been able to do to win their first 2 ball games. Anybody that stayed up late and watched the Cal game probably wanted to gouge their eyes out. It wasn't very aesthetically pleasing, but they did find a way to win. And there's something to be said for teams that are able to do that, particularly on the road. That was a lot of adversity they faced, having to go west and playing as late as they did. I'm concerned about the quarterback position. The Peyton Thorne, Robbie Ashford combo, looked good in week 1, but didn't look quite as good in week 2. And as you get into SEC play, you're going to have more consistent quarterback play. So I'm interested to see what Philip Montgomery and Hugh Freeze do to kind of adjust that. But to get a win and to do it the way they did with defense kind of taking the stage the way they did was impressive.
Always appreciate the time. I know you're a busy man all over the place. Podcast, television, you name it. Really appreciate the insight, and thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah, good to catch up with you guys again. Thanks for having me.
That is Chris Doering from the SEC Network, just kind of going around a little bit in the early returns. All of a sudden, that Tennessee-Florida game, I'm telling you, a Tennessee-Florida game could be closer than Vol fans want it to be.
I don't see it. I still think Tennessee is...
I think it's more on what I saw out of the Vols rather than...
All right, but all the things we've talked about tonight.
Yeah.
And people getting up. I mean, even when, 100 years ago when I was playing.
100 years ago.
People didn't get up for... I mean, players... You cannot play your best every game, right? And you get up for the big ones. So when you're playing, we used to call it Louisiana Directional School.
Yeah. Little Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, but it was always hard to get up for those games.
Yeah.
And, and they come in, you'd have 11 o'clock old Jefferson Pilot kick.
Yeah.
They give you a 5:30 wake-up call. No college student wants to get up at 5:30.
Yeah.
And then, you go play them, and it'd be about third quarter. You wake up and say, "Oh, maybe we need to start trying a little bit harder to beat this team." So everybody goes in thinking they'll play a half, and and we'll have it. And you go in and you're winning 10-3, and you end up winning 24-6.
Yeah.
And that was back when we ran the ball 80% of the time. But I'm just saying, people don't get up for those games.
So I mentioned a little bit of Ole Miss. They do have the best win right now in the SEC, and it's not even against a Power 5 school.
Well, yeah, but, Tulane.
But the reason I wanted to bring it up is, I don't know if you saw this, but Ole Miss was up by a touchdown. This was in the third quarter, and he chose to kick a 56-yard field goal.
Yeah.
And he was asked about choosing to go for a 56-yard field goal and what the sheet says on whether or not you go for it. I was entertained by the answer. You're going to hear that from Lane Kiffin. Final call for phone calls on the other side as well, as we're live here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. We'll be right back.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have the state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
The Huntsville Sports Commission is responsible for bringing high-level sports entertainment to the Rocket City. In 2023, enjoy events like the CCSA Beach Volleyball Championships, Hometown Lenders Championship, UCI Paracycling Road World Cup, and so much more. To learn more about upcoming events and the Huntsville Sports Commission, visit HuntsvilleSports.com. The Huntsville Sports Commission. We do sports.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Here at the Furniture Factory, final call for phone calls. Incidentally, bottom of the third, Filthies lead it over the Braves 1-0. Braves' magic number is at 4.
Still,
but if they win tonight, then you can half it into 2, because in second place are the Filthies. And Max Fried is still on the mound. Hate that our boy Kyle Wright, he got beat up a little bit last night.
Well, he's got to get it back. He's been off for a very long time.
Just get himself ready. I did want to play for you, not that. I wanted to play for you what Lane Kiffin had to say.
What was that?
That was Billy Joel for some reason. It flipped over to Billy Joel after I played Atomic Dog earlier in the show just for Coach Colley. Here is Lane Kiffin about going for a field goal, a 56-yard field goal on the road at Tulane. What's that tell you there, Coach?
That was, he had the range, and actually we took the win at halftime. We took the win for the fourth quarter. So in case we had a late field goal, we'd have the win, and there was a very big difference in warm-ups. He actually was kicking the ball and making it further than that direction. So when it came up, it was a chance to basically end the game, most likely, unless they go score and onside kick. You got a chance to kind of end the game there, and he'd made those. So, yes, they could get the ball right there, but you can go for it on fourth down and get stopped too. You actually, analytics are you should not punt no matter what right there. Because you have a likelihood of a touchback and a whatever would have been 17-yard net punt. So when you have a chance to end the game, you either kick the field goal to go 2 scores or you go for it. So had he not had that range, we actually would have gone for it and not punted either. Punting would not make a whole lot of sense, even though traditionally over years as fans and media, that's what you would probably expect to do there.
You got a point.
This is a new age of college football where you go for it.
Well, I mean, all these guys are playing Madden for 40 years has finally caught up.
So I saw the video of the guy asking the questions, and older gentleman, and I could tell he just had this look on his face of, I've seen so much more college football than you've ever seen. I know so much more about college football than you ever know.
The reporter?
It felt that way to me. I could be wrong, but that's kind of that little dig at the end was you maybe not know as much as you think you do.
Well, anytime, and no offense to reporters, and
he immediately puts his hand up to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't know as much as a college football coach.
The next time I know everything about everything.
Maybe some college football coaches you can claim, but Lane Kiffin would be one that I would.
Yeah.
He kind of understands the game at a different level than other coaches do.
But I want to know, and I'm going to ask him tomorrow if I get the opportunity in the teleconference, of how much has that sheet, the analytics sheet, grown? Of when to go for it, when not to go for it.
Well, what he said just made perfect sense. Unless you have...
Yeah, there's only 19...
All right, so
17 to 19 yards worth of difference.
One, he has a kicker that's making it from even longer in warm-ups.
Yeah.
They go by that. I mean, somebody will write that. The special teams coach he'll write down a number.
Yeah.
And the head coach, during the game goes, does he have it in him to make it? And the special team coach, sometimes it's different going north or south.
Yeah.
And he goes, going this way, yes, he has that in him. And then it's up to the kicker to make the kick.
Let's squeeze in these couple of phone calls before we punt over to the Braves. Bryce is on line 1. How are you, Bryce?
I'm doing okay, guys. What'd y'all do with?
He's in the witness protection program. No, he's coming back tomorrow.
He's working.
He's got another job.
He's doing a honeydew list, huh?
No,
he's got another job.
He's helping that neighbor's wealth management hotline, we hope.
Yes.
So I'm part of that, too. I don't even, I get I do this for free.
You got some food right there.
No, they charge me.
I didn't know you were part of that.
Yeah.
So what else is on your mind, Bryce?
Well, I don't know about you. I've got to, last Saturday I walked away feeling pretty good. This Saturday, I didn't. I think we've got a lot of things we got to take care of. If we don't, we're not going to have a lot of winning football.
Well, I mean, all right, if we play the way we played, which I think we're better than what we showed, but if we do play that way, we will lose
10 penalties, turnovers,
getting whooped up front.
Yeah, that's not a recipe for winning football.
No, you're looking at a team that's probably going to lose.
But the good news is, I don't know how many more Texas opponents are on that schedule.
No, and
and I see what y'all saying, but see, I've just never seen us get whooped on both sides of the line like that. And we made them stupid penalties, and I knew if we started making those penalties, it's going to be hard to win.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 53, and I've seen this get whooped up front. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
That's what I'm saying. A long time. The last time I seen us play that bad is when Clemson beat us in the national championship.
Yeah.
This quarterback can't read defense.
Well,
both of them passes he threw, guys, I knew it was going to be intercepted.
Well, the second one was a really bad pass.
Yeah, and actually it was all right, he threw that ball to the inside, and you throw any route on the cover 2 into the inside,
it's got to be back shoulder.
Or actually front shoulder.
Yeah.
So, or that back, I mean, I don't care who you play, that ball's going to get picked. So, on that route,
Yeah, I agree. But, guys, what I don't understand, Uri his jersey didn't get dirty. He didn't hit the ground near a time. And that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the stands and I was sitting in the parent section.
But that's also on Quinn Ewers, too. He did not hold the ball too long as well.
And that was game plan. I mean, Antonio or whoever said
it was Antonio.
Yeah, we got out-coached.
I was also CD, too.
Yeah. We were out-coached. We were outplayed up front. Listen, if you have problems on the back end, the only way you can fix it, and I think our secondary is actually pretty good. But if you can count to 3 Mississippi and you're not at the quarterback,
it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Oh yeah, I agree with you guys. I got this team is unfortunate. It's like last year's team, but we don't have that special weapon.
Yeah, he's playing for the Panthers, and the defensive guy is playing for the Texans.
And I thought last year that we relied too much on Bryce. I think Bryce's whole tenure there, we relied too much on him. It's like, all right, we got a special guy back here.
Because he was special.
And go do your thing.
Yeah.
Without game planning enough.
Nobody to rely on is what scares me.
I think this year's plan was to rely on the running game. And it's not right now. It's not there.
No. Thank you, Bryce.
They were running.
Oh,
running the ball good, and I don't know why they abandoned it, because and people are crying about these young running backs not being in there. They don't know how to block. They're not going to get in there.
But that's a true statement.
Thank you, Bryce. Appreciate the phone call. Bama Bino is on line 2. How are you, Bama Bino?
Hey, great to talk with you there, Steve and Keith. I'm just going to tell you, like I know football, they weren't prepared at any level except maybe linebacker and running back. The running backs couldn't do their job because the line's out of shape. They're out of shape. Now, there's no excuse for that. The coach ought to know they're out of shape. They were not in shape. They were putting their hands on their hip in the latter part of the second quarter. They were getting whipped, too. And all this talk about them being bigger than pro linemen, that don't do you no good if you can't move your feet right. I saw them shuffling, but they were not blocking proper. I'm not a line specialist. Number 2, we had Kirby Smart and Pruitt and all that all them years. You didn't see as much of vulnerability in the secondary because we edge rushed. We had somebody designated to hit the quarterback, or at least get him off balance. We hadn't done that since Pruitt left. We hadn't done that since Kirby left, except when Pruitt was there a year or 2 before he took the Tennessee job. And poor secondary coaching. Technique. There was 2 players that were playing decent technique, but they threw the ball in number 3 a lot of times. Arnold, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Arnold.
And he don't turn around and look when the man looks. I wish somebody would please tell Saban to tell him to play the ball. When that man turns around, he's not looking for his girlfriend. He's looking for the doggone football. And don't ride somebody's jersey 15 yards and expect them not to throw a flag. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we weren't in shape. And if a coach don't know they're in shape, they're micromanaging too much. We've got a lot of talent, but they're going to have to be in shape. And that's just what I see I know about football. And, all these quarterbacks we've had that's in the pros now, they had a quarterback coach work with them besides the offensive coordinator. 2 had one, Jalen had one, Mac had one. And if you expect to start out at Alabama, you're going to have to put some extra work in. He can't read coverages, and I don't know a whole lot about the quarterback position, but I know how to read cover 1, cover 2 in zone. And they were just baiting him on some of that. Some of it's bad. They didn't have time to throw, really, but you can get rid of the ball. It's not the level we need to. And I wish somebody watch Bo Scarborough's podcast. He said they're expecting something to be handed to them. This NIL's messed everything up. It's got everybody busy, worried about it, and not coaching football. So I want our old college football back. I want to lose that week. I'm very disappointed.
Thank you, Bama Bino.
Well, thanks. Yeah, I can answer a few of those questions. One, everybody's got NIL. I mean, maybe it's bigger than Alabama right now, but if they keep playing that way, it won't be. 2, I think the offensive line, I wouldn't say they're out of shape because, as I said, but I think they might be too heavy, which does affect shape. But I watched those guys scrimmage in one of the hottest days ever been in Tuscaloosa. I mean, they were tired, but I mean, you know, it was hot. So yeah, I think maybe they're a little too heavy, and that might hurt them with how quick their feet are. Defense hasn't changed since Saban's been there. I mean, yeah, the guys that are calling the defenses have changed a few times, but the defense hadn't changed. That is Coach Saban's defense. They're going to run it the way he wants it run, but he's not calling the plays. He never has since he's been there, and he never will. And he's going to let his defensive coaches coach. And what else was there?
I think he covered it pretty good.
But
I mean, you went there early.
Yeah, NIL. Yeah, I mean, NIL is just not Alabama.
No,
it's everybody. And there are Texas guys getting paid to play too. But I think that, at Alabama, maybe we're not handling it as well as we should. But, to me, that's kind of...
Well, honestly, listen, one of my favorite things about sports is the most talented team doesn't always win. You need a level of talent to compete, there's no doubt about that. But just because you have more 5 stars doesn't mean you're going to beat the other team that has 3 stars or 4 stars.
And kind of going back to what Antonio was talking about, it's hard for these guys to be a team anymore. I mean, if someone's getting $200,000 or $300,000 and can afford a penthouse or whatever, in Tuscaloosa, or a 3-bedroom apartment and only one guy's living there, when we were there, it didn't matter if you were a 5-star or a 0. We didn't even have stars back then, but we all lived in Bryan Hall. And now I think that the freshmen and sophomores have to live.
That was around about the time of Jamie Newberg back in the day, late or early 90s.
I graduated in 88. So
okay.
I'm sure I was a 1-star or 0-star or whatever.
Yeah.
But, that's back when they used to call 5 stars blue chippers.
That's right. That's right.
But, there's a lot of that's missing, I think, from what Antonio was trying to say, or did say. It meant something for us as a team.
Yeah.
And right now, there's a lot of individual.
A lot of I.
There's no I in team. And those that commercials.
There's an M and an E, and that spells me.
No, there ain't no we either. I love that commercial.
Yeah. That will do it for us here at the Furniture Factory. If you missed any portion of today's program, head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. You can check out all of our local programs from morning till evening. We've got Braves baseball on deck for you next. Bottom of the 4th, Matt Olson went yard again, his 51st home run of the year for the Braves. It's tied at 1. There's now 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th.
What's the record, 52 for the Braves?
He's 51. He's tied it.
Okay.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-20